Is Barrell Foundation the best 100 proof bourbon of the year? Let's find out. What is going on, everybody? Nathan here with the Everyday Drinker, bringing you guys a brand new video. Today we are going to be doing a review of Barrell Foundation bourbon. Now, this is not just your typical barrel bourbon release. This is not a batch. This is not a barrel proof. This is not finished in anything whatsoever. This is aged for 5 years and bottled at 100 proof. So this is what they're looking forward to releasing as their small batch product that is bottled at 100 proof and released to all of us at a very, very reasonable price, and something that they look forward to having all of us bourbon drinkers enjoy neat on ice or in a cocktail. Let me tell you what is exactly inside of this bottle. So the blend components of this bottle are 8-year-old Kentucky bourbons, 5, 6, and 9-year-old Indiana bourbons, 8-year-old Tennessee bourbons, and 5 and 6-year-old Maryland bourbons, with a derived mash bill of 73% corn, 23% rye, and 4% malted barley. So Barrell did send this bottle my way. I'm not quite sure what exactly the MSRP of this specific bottle is going to be, but I am going to expect this bottle to be at a very, very reasonable price. Bottle at 100 proof, you know, I mean, your oldest bourbon in there is, what, 9 years old, I believe, and the youngest is 5. So, I mean, at a bottled and bond, you're expecting that to be 100 proof and at least 4 years old. This is coming in, I mean, obviously it's not bottled and bond because of all the blends and everything that this bottle has going for it, but nonetheless, this is what they're attacking for and expecting a lot of us to really, really enjoy. If you're looking for a barrel product that won't break the bank, if you don't want to spend upwards of 70, 80, 90 bucks. But before we get into the review, I want to thank you guys so much for the love and support on the channel. You guys are absolutely crushing it. We're almost at 4,700 subscribers. So if you want your chance to win a bottle of Blanton's bourbon, all you have to do is smash that subscribe button down below, leave a like down below on if you enjoy the content, and leave a comment down below on if you've gotten your hands on the Founders Edition and what your thoughts are on this, and if you're possibly going to be picking it up after this video is out. But I can't thank you guys enough. Again, you guys are absolutely crushing it. And enough of the sloppy stuff. Let's get into the nose of this Barrell Foundation. Foundation. I got Founders and Foundation going in my head at the same time. So we're going to be scoring this just like a lot of our other bourbons that we did reviews of that were released this year. So let's get in the nose of this bad boy right here. I'm getting a very malty-esque quality coming through. I'm getting oats. I'm getting pine bark. Very interesting, with a little bit of tropical fruits that are coming through on this, like pineapples, and there's a little touch of a coconut as well. I get a little bit of a minty-esque finish there on that back end as well. Wow, I like this nose a lot. There's nothing that is very, very prevalent that is the most amazing nose out of this, but for what they're saying this is, it's a very approachable nose. And I think on the nose, out of a scale of 0 to 10, I'm gonna have to give the nose a score of 7. And we all know we don't just nose our bourbon, we drink it. So here's to you, and cheers everybody, and let's get into this bottle. It's very rye spice forward. I get a lot of rye kick out of this. I'm getting that deep orange note that I get a lot. I'm getting a very, very prevalent star anise note out of this. I'm getting a touch of a cedar bark. There's a touch of a maple syrup that is that underlying sweetness that coats your tongue. But bottled at 100 proof, this does not leave a burn whatsoever on any part of your tongue or any part of it going down at all, which is really, really nice. It's very approachable. For this being Barrell's first shot at something that's not barrel proof, this is really good. This is a very, very approachable bottle, and I hope that the price isn't astronomical I'm hoping it's in that maybe $45 to $50 price range, 55 max, because this is where I'm seeing this bottle at. It's really, really good. It's flavorful, but it's not packed full of flavor, right? It's not the most flavorful thing that I've ever had at that 100 proof mark. But I think with the blending that this has, it has a lot of qualities from a lot of different sources that really blend and marry very well inside of this bottle. Wow, that's good. That really is good. It really does not have anything that is off-putting on this that would turn anybody away. It is a very bourbon-y bourbon, right? I mean, it is, if you're looking at a line of bourbon, this is going to be riding that straight line of bourbon into Bourbon Town, because this is really, really on that line. And I think for the palate, for what you're expecting out of this, I think I'm going to have to give this an 8 out of 10. It really doesn't transfer into the finish. The finish is short, the finish is sweet. Finish doesn't have any bitter qualities to it. But there's nothing that is really like, wow, that is just going and going and going and going and going. But with that said, I'm gonna have to give this, the finish, a 7. And then for the final two things from 0 to 5 and 0 to 5, we have value and obtainability. I think that with the blending that Barrell does such a good job with their blending products. And this being at 100 proof and most likely more available than a lot of their other products, I think, and also for what I hope the price is, I think for the value, if this is $45 to $55, I'm gonna have to give this a 4.5 out of 5. And finally, we have obtainability. I know Barrell is all over the place, and with what my thoughts are on this bottle, this being almost released everywhere and to anyone, this is a home run, and obtainability is definitely a 5 out of 5. And the Barrell Foundation gets a total score of 31.5. Now, that's not bad for a 100 proof bottle. The first rendition of this for Barrell, they knocked this out of the park. It is a really, really good pour for something that if you're not quite sure if you're gonna like the Barrell batches and you see this on the shelf next to it, this is definitely going to be a really, really good stepping stone into those Barrell products. Whereas, you might pick this up first, it's that nice obtainable bottle for that price range. You enjoy this. You step into those Barrell batches, right? You find yourself enjoying the Barrell batch 35 and then the 36, 37, so on into the next upcoming years. And then you also find yourself enjoying those and step into their finished products, the Armadillo, the Dovetail, the Seagrass, and their other cask finished products such as the Amberana that they just did. Really, really good offerings, and I think that this is definitely a good stepping stone bottle that Barrell is now offering for beginner bourbon drinkers and bourbon drinkers that really aren't willing to step into the Barrell products, and this is a really good idea of what Barrell is capable of doing at that 100 proof and what they can do at their barrel proof. Really good offering. Barrell always does a really, really good job at their blending techniques. Not quite sure how they do it, but that's why they do it and they send me to do the review of. And Barrell lets me do honest reviews for you guys. That's the one thing that I make sure I can do, is an honest review. And if I didn't like this, I would 100% tell you guys I don't like this, but this is really, really good. Till next time, this has been Nathan with The Everyday Drinker. Cheers.